Okay, so welcome along today to our webinar, our learning session on using technology to transform your therapy business. My name's Ellie, Ellie McDonald. I work at WriteUpp. We're a practice management software company, but today we're actually just going to be going through the benefits to you and your clients on how to use technology and practice management software in your practice or in your clinic, wherever you're working. We're just going to go through the benefits of those for you. So the webinar is going to be 30 minutes, maybe 45. It really depends on questions, but we're going to try and keep it nice and tight to 30 minutes. I know you're really busy. It's probably your lunch, so you're going to want to get all the information you can as quickly as possible and get on with your day. If you do have any questions, just use the Q&A box. As I said, all Q&A messages are moderated, so just keep it clean, friendly, and compliant if you can. By compliant, I mean don't share any personal information or any patient identifiable information. I'm sure you wouldn't do that anyway, but just in case. And if we don't get to your question, just grab us for a live chat at the end, or you can email us at support@writeup.com and we'll pick that up for you. It doesn't need to be to do with WriteUpp. It can be to do with anything to do with practice management software or technology. So just grab us at the end if you need to. Okay, so we're going to look at how the latest in practice management technology can change the way you run your practice for the better. Let me just get that going there. So thousands of therapists just like you are using technology to eliminate problems like time-sapping admin and no-shows whilst delivering better therapy and care to their clients. But how can you do that, and how easy is it to set up tech in your practice? So let's take a look at technology called practice management software. Now, before we look into what practice management software actually is, oops, sorry about that. Before we look into that, let's understand what practice management is. So first off, practice management is the term used for the admin and business side of a healthcare or medical practice. So the responsibilities for this would include things like client record management, appointment and diary management, reminding people about appointments, invoicing, ensuring you comply with GDPR, things like that. And all this admin, it often distracts from the actual service being delivered to you and your clients, by you to your clients. Basically, what practice management software does is all the hard work for you. So it will do all the admin for you. It helps you put everything involved with running a practice into one secure and automated place, so you can access it from anywhere, from any device. As long as you've got the internet, you don't have to sort of rely on being in one room, in one building. You can do it from anywhere. And it's basically there to save you a lot of time and a lot of worry, particularly when it comes to GDPR compliance and things like that. So while a small practice might be able to get by using paper-based and manual systems for a while, many practice owners do find that they work in a much more efficient and professional way once they move over to an online practice management software, particularly as they grow. And I don't mean grow in the amount of clinicians they have, I mean growing in the amount of clients that they're able to take on. If you're just a one-person practice, it's often more beneficial for you to use practice management software than if you have tons of clinicians and also admin personnel working for you. So as I said, you'll always also be able to run your clinic from anywhere with internet. So how does it work? How do you actually get your practice onto a computer in clinic? Because if you're using paper-based stuff at the moment, it's going to be kind of confusing. So what it means is your information is stored in the cloud. So assuming you have a desktop, laptop, tablet, or even a smartphone, you can run your clinic from that device. So you just head to your own unique URL, your own login to whichever software you decide to use. You enter your login details securely. You can set up extra data security when you do log in, like 2FA, so that you have to put in like a code from your phone to log into that. And then your practice essentially will be there in your browser for you, regardless of where you are or what device you're using. So you can scan in all your paper documents if you want to, and they'll all be online, or you can actually transfer them properly into a practice management software, typing them up and making sure that they're all in there. So you won't have any files, you won't have any cabinets, you won't have any paper, diaries, anything like that. Everything will just be in the browser for you. Now, cloud-based practice management software is extremely secure. And I know a lot of people worry about this, about the security aspect of it. It's super secure. And it's now the preferred software model of pretty much all major software vendors, including Microsoft 365. And that is also run in the cloud. So I am going to try not to show you too many slides today, but I have got a few slides and I will be sharing these with you by email after the webinar, so you can have a look at them in your own time. But it just helps you to kind of visualize some of the stuff that I'm talking about. So what should a good practice management software include? A really basic practice management software will typically include things like an appointment diary, a client database, clinical notes, patient correspondence, staff ways to do that, and also financial reporting. So that's really the core basics that you're going to be getting in most practice management softwares. What you really want to look for, though, are some of the more cutting edge features. So if you're going to be paying for a practice management software, make sure you're getting a lot of features for your money, not just the real basics. So what you really want to look for are things like online forms and assessments. So what that means is that your clients will be able to fill in forms online, fill them in before they even come to their appointment, and then it's emailed back to you, or it's stored directly into your patient management system, your practice management system. So really easy way to cut down on admin and save yourself time, and also save your clients time when they actually come in for the appointment. Online consent portal is kind of included in that. So you can have your GDPR consent forms sent directly to your clients. You can send them out automatically as soon as they make an appointment. That's sent to them. They go online, they read through all the consent things. You know, it doesn't have to just be GDPR consent things. It can be COVID screening forms and things like that they're filling in beforehand. They need to agree to these, your terms and conditions, whatever it is. They consent. It's then saved directly to their record. Again, you've not had to do anything. You've not had to print off forms, hand them out to them, take them back, file them away. It's all automated and it's all automatic and it's all done online. A cashless payment functionality, including in person. Depending on whether you invoice or not, you might not, but if you do, it's really handy to have a cashless payment functionality. It just means that people can go online and they can pay online. They don't have to do a bank transfer to you, which is really unwieldy and time consuming. And also they don't need to carry cash either. You can send them an invoice and it'll have a button in it. They'll just click that button and they can just pay, just like they're paying for anything online, any sort of cart or shopping cart kind of thing. If you think about that, they'll just be able to pay for their appointments like that. They can also pay in advance so that you don't, it really cuts down on no-shows as well. The in-person payments, what you can also do with a lot of practice management softwares is you can have one of those terminals, you know, where they can just pay by card and it just links straight up to the practice management software and it'll create an invoice and receipt for them. You can send out to them and it just stores all their payments again, straight against their record. So you don't have to do anything. As soon as they tap that card and it's gone through, it just magically appears into your practice management systems as paid. And you can go through and drill down on all your financial records that way. Online booking, that's a really good one for both you and your clients. It just means that your clients can essentially just go online on your website, click book now and choose when they want to come and see you, and you can either just have them confirm it or you can have them pay for their appointment before they confirm it. The appointment will just appear in your diary. They can also save it in their calendar as well. And as soon as they've made an appointment online, all of their forms that they need to fill in, anything you need them to do, all of the information that they need before they attend will be automatically sent to them. So you don't need to make an appointment with someone on the phone, put down the phone, then fill it in your diary and then send out all the forms manually. Like, that whole process is taken away for you. They'll do it. The client will do it all themselves. A video consultation feature, massive growth in this area in the last 2 years. As you know, you undoubtedly know this, we're all starting to use Zoom and stuff in the last 2 years, so much more than we ever did before. And you want to really look for a practice management system that will integrate the video consultations for you so that you can just use it all from the same thing. It means you don't need to pay for other subscriptions to other video softwares. You can just use it straight from the practice management software. It means the software will send out the link to them. It's more secure than using something like Zoom, and it's just easier. It's easier for you to use. If you do want more information about that, we do have other webinars that you can attend just to learn more about online booking or the video consultation stuff and how to use it with your clients. Automatic email and SMS communications, especially reminders. These are really handy to use. Again, really, really easy to set up when you have the right system in place. Basically, what it means is it will automatically send out emails and text messages either when somebody books an appointment, but also it will trigger, say, 24 hours before their appointment, just to remind them. You can send out extra information to them as well. It's all automated. Really cuts down on your no-shows, because if somebody gets a text message the day before their appointment, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, I would have missed that. It really does cut down on things, especially if they haven't paid in advance. It's really easy for people to just not turn up. You can also put things in like a cancellation policy in there as well, just to remind them. And then there's a few other things like a client waiting list that you can have on your software, task lists that you can set up for yourself, or things that you need to remind yourself to do for your clients. Templates for documents, notes, assessment forms, and a lot of these are tailored specifically to your profession and your speciality. So, for example, if you are a podiatrist, then there'll be tons of templates specifically for podiatrists in there that you can just log in and use straight away without having to set them up. But equally, you can set up your own forms and templates and things in your software. And then also medical practice and clinician analytics as well. It just helps you see what's going on in your practice, and it helps you plan and grow your practice or make changes to areas that maybe you didn't know that you needed to make changes in before. So what does the software not do? That's everything that it does do. What does it not do for you? Well, essentially, it doesn't do your job. It doesn't see patients and help them. And that's what you're there for. So to help you do that job better, why not let technology take away all the admin stuff so that you can just get on and do the job that you trained for and that you actually want to be doing. Nobody signs up to be a therapist or a clinician to do all the admin. And so let the software do it. The technology's there, so just embrace it and let it do it for you. Okay, so the 5 key benefits to you as a clinician then. Number 1 is you'll spend a lot less time on admin, which you've probably gathered from what I've been saying so far. And I mean so much less time on admin. You'll be surprised at how little you'll have to do when you have the right tech in place. You'll spend much less time looking for information, preparing notes, writing client emails and text messages. So much more than that. You'll cut down on so much of your process. It'll just be so much shorter. You'll end up with more time in your day to actually have appointments with your clients. You can send out forms to be completed online, as I said, in advance of the appointment. Some of the more advanced practice management systems will automatically import the client's data from the form straight into their record. So if you've, for example, if you've got a new client intake form and all of their info, their address, their contact details, their next of kin details, everything like that, they'll fill it in the form. You just click a button and it just puts it into their record for you. So you're not having to have a form and then type up like, oh, this is their address, this is their phone number. It'll just pop it in there straight for you. So it cuts out on a lot of time there. If you added that up throughout a week or a month, that's a lot of time. Like I said, online booking, your clients can book appointments themselves using online booking. It cuts out telephone calls and emails throughout your day. And then when they do that, all their information is automatically added to their client record. So if they're adding in all their contact info and their address information like that, when they make a booking online, it just pops it into their record for you. Again, you're not having to sort of do a data entry job at the end of each day, putting all of your client information into their record. You can also, number 2 there, you can reduce your no-shows to almost nothing. We've had practitioners who have reported that back to us, that their no-show rate has almost disappeared since using technology in their practice to cut down on these kinds of things. So they do that by using automated appointment reminders. It's really, really effective. The system sends them out for you, so you never forget. You never have to kind of look at tomorrow's appointments and then text everybody. The system will just do it for you. So that's another thing off your list. And you can also set up integrations with payment systems like Square, meaning your clients pay for their appointments before it's even confirmed in your diary. So again, if they've paid for their appointment in advance, or even a portion of their appointment in advance, they're less likely to cancel because they're going to lose out on their money. Number 3, you'll have the time and the tools to grow your practice if that's what you want to do. Because your software streamlines the admin for you, it creates more time for you to spend with your clients, or it creates more time for you to take half a day off a week to do other things instead of admin. It frees up hours which you can use to invest in activities to grow your practice, like marketing, so you can take on new clients, generate more income, and build and grow your business. And you can also run reports which will help you understand what's happening in your practice, so you can start making improvements in areas you really didn't even know that you needed to. You'll have that insight, so it's really, really helpful in that way. Number 4, you can simplify your compliance with key regulations like GDPR. This is a big one. This is what we are contacted about the most from our users, is GDPR compliance, because a lot of people worry about it and a lot of practitioners worry about it, purely because it's quite confusing and you want to make sure that you're on the right side of it and you're doing everything right. Luckily, most major practice management systems have ways to simplify this process. So regardless of which software you choose, you are probably going to be on the right side of things like GDPR or any data compliance, but it's always worth just checking with them before you use them. If you're in the UK, for example, just make sure that you're using a practice management software based in the UK. That's the best way to avoid not complying. So yeah, just check with them that any compliance is relevant for the area that you're providing your clients services to. They make it easier really to capture. Privacy consent is one big one. That's Article 13, but also Article 15 is fulfilling access requests and things like that. I'll go through a couple more of these with a live working example a little bit later in the webinar, just to show you how the software can help you with GDPR. I know it's a worry for a lot of people. And the last one, really, you can start saving the planet, and going paperless is a really great way to make your practice more eco-friendly. And you can shout about that to your clients and to your prospective customers. You've completely eradicated paper from your business. You no longer use it. Everything you do is online. In general, healthcare facilities use about 2 billion pounds of paper each year. So that just adds to the already overflowing landfills around the globe. So if you have cut paper out from your practice, amazing, like tell everybody about it. It's a really good thing to do. And then 5 reasons why your clients will love it. So yeah, it helps you massively, but it also really, really, really benefits your clients. And they will feedback on that, and you will hear about how much easier, and you'll probably gain more clients from it as well. First of all, you can improve your client's experience and interactions with your practice. And what I mean by this, when it's easier to communicate with your clients, you'll do more of it. You'll find you communicate with them more. Your clients and partners will love the professionalism and care that shows. And it also puts you way ahead of your competitors as well. So that really simple change will put you ahead. Number 2, their data is secure. This is massive, not just for clinicians, but for clients as well. They want to know how and where the data is stored and if it's safe. A lot of times now clients aren't particularly happy with a load of paper being on somebody's desk. Times have kind of moved on, and people are more interested in where their data is and how secure it is. And you can usually use any information that a practice management system has on how secure they are in your own terms and conditions and your own GDPR information sheets that you want to send out to them. So you can have all that info to hand really easily for them. Because your data isn't stored on a laptop or a PC, it's all in the cloud. If your laptop or PC was ever stolen or lost, or something happened to it or damaged, your data's safe. So your data isn't lost. You can log in from another device and access it. And anybody who stole your laptop or PC wouldn't actually be able to log in because it's secure, and it's the password wouldn't be saved in there. It really matters to clients, things like that. Number 3 is that your clients don't always need to speak to you. This kind of goes against number 1, I know, but it sounds strange, but people tend to prefer booking online rather than picking up the phone nowadays. One of the biggest drawbacks of phone-based booking is that whilst they are a more personal experience, and they're reliant on 2 people to make that booking work. So it presents an issue for your potential client who has to bend their schedule around your hours. So you both need to be available at the same time. 9 times out of 10, you probably aren't. On your end, the hours that you take bookings between are limited. So it depends on how many clients you're seeing throughout the day, and that can really limit the number of calls that you can take in any given time. And it just means using online booking means clients can book at any time on any platform from anywhere in the world. And I actually did this myself last week when I had to book an appointment with a clinician. There's 4 in my area. One of them used online booking. It was 8 o'clock at night. I was on my iPad. I booked with them because I couldn't phone the other 3. They weren't working. It was out of hours. I just booked the one that I could. And the joy of that as well is I could change that booking as well if I needed to. So there's so many upsides to your clients not actually having to phone you, or you not having to phone them. They can just book when they want. And it definitely works for me. And I think it probably works for a lot more people as well. Number 4 is that they can pay online. So cashless payments are huge and important in this world that we're living in at the moment. A lot of people are kind of lost interest with cash. Bank transfers are slow, they're clunky, they're time consuming for clients. They'll put it off. So if your invoice says pay by bank transfer, they'll go, oh God, I'll just do that later. So you might not get that immediately. You might then having to be spending more time chasing up your invoices. So the best practice management software, it'll integrate with platforms like Square or Stripe. There's a few that will work exactly the same as each other. And it means you can take payments online at the click of the button, either before or after the appointment, whenever you want to. And as I said earlier, if they're in clinic, if they're actually visiting you in person, you can get a handheld terminal. They can just pay immediately before they even leave, just by card. And it's really easy. Again, all the payment information goes straight into your system, into their record, and into your financial reporting as well. So really easy. And the last one is that they'll get more time with you during appointments. So because they filled in your intake and consent forms before their appointment, you don't actually need to spend that time doing this with them when they actually visit you in clinic. Now, understandably, it's probably different if you're doing video consultations, but if they're actually coming in, they might be using a clipboard, filling in the form before they even see you. It's eating up time in their day. It's eating up time of their appointment. Your clients see this as a huge benefit. They've done it already. They're getting more appointment time for their money, and they're getting the help they need more efficiently. So it's a win-win, really, really easy. So we're going to have a look at tools to simplify your GDPR compliance. I promised we'd have a look at this earlier on in the webinar. So GDPR places a number of requirements on you, including the need to handle data access requests, completely erase data, and also correct data if there's any inaccuracies along the way, that any of them pass on to third parties and stuff like that. So thankfully, practice management software does contain tools that can help you handle such requests. So I am going to jump into WriteUpp now. This is my WriteUpp screen. This is my diary. I don't have any clients. It's just my dummy account. You can see this is my calendar. But if I go into my main menu and into tools, you can see in here that I've got a few ways I can really simplify my GDPR compliance process. Let's start off at the bottom here. The data hygiene is my favorite tool. So you probably by law have to permanently delete some records that you're keeping, whether that's 6 years, 10 years, 20 years. You have to, if your clients haven't come back or nothing's happened to that appointment, you'll need to delete those records. This makes it really easy. All you need to do is go into the drop down, click 10 years, and these are all my clients that I haven't seen in 10 years or done anything with, and I can just go through and delete those, and it'll permanently erase all that data. It keeps you on the right side of GDPR. You don't really need to worry about kind of going through your paper notes and thinking, right, which ones do I need to shred this year? You don't have to do that anymore. You can just go here and go, cool, these are the ones I need to, or there's no one for 17. These are the ones that I need to delete for 7 years, and I'll just go through and erase them. And I've done it. That's my admin done. My auditor is happy with me there. A couple more in tools. There is the access requests. So you can comply with your GDPR access requests in here. If somebody requests all the data that you hold on them, then you legally have to give that to them. And you just need to do that by creating a new access request. And when you click save in there, what it will do is it will download everything that you hold on client into a zip file, and you can just email it straight out to them. So it takes minutes instead of days to gather that info. If you've had that client on your file for 10 years and they've had loads and loads of appointments and you've got loads of files and paperwork for them saved in your cabinets or your filing cabinets, then it can take a really, really long time to gather that all up, scan it all in, and then email it to them. So the software like this all just makes that process so much easier, and just takes the worry out of it, actually. You don't need to worry if somebody makes an access request anymore. You can also export all of your data out of any practice management software at any time. You don't have to stay with them. You can take all the data out and delete it, or you can take it all out and store it locally on your computer if you decide that you don't want to use the practice management software anymore. Or if you retire, for example, but you still have some client details that you need to keep for another 4 or 5 years, you can just take it out. You're not using the system anymore, but you can just store that on your computer safely. So you've always got that option. And then also you can permanently erase a client as well. So if somebody asks before the 10 years are up, for example, maybe after a year, they say, they get in touch and say, I'd like you to completely forget me, please. You can just go in there and delete that client. At WriteUpp, I can't speak for other practice management systems, but at WriteUpp, that data is then erased completely. There's no backup on it. We don't keep anything that you've deleted. So, to comply with the law, you need to completely erase that. And that means that your practice management system needs to completely erase that as well. Most of them would, I imagine, but I'm not sure, but we definitely do. So that's a really nice, easy way to comply there as well. I mentioned this briefly earlier, but you can also set up and use two-factor authentication when logging in to most practice management systems. It just means that when you put your password in, your email and password, your login, it will come up with another screen, and it will send you a code to your phone that you then need to confirm and put in. So it just means that obviously, if somebody's trying to get into your system, they would need to have your email, your password, and your physically phone and the password to get into your phone. It just makes it really difficult. There's a lot of websites that can do that, so you've probably seen that working before. So yeah. So going back in here. Hopefully that helps. If you've got any questions, just let me know. The next question really is, do you really need a practice management solution? And the answer to that might be no. You might really not need one yet. Your practice might be small enough that you don't really need to or can justify the cost of paying for one yet. But do think about this carefully. According to research by softwareadvice.com, the most common needs that practices had were they wanted to better organize their practice. They wanted integrated and automated assessments and forms. They wanted to reduce the time spent on admin, integrated scheduling and integrated billing. And there's some of the things that we've gone through. Statistics also from the same place, softwareadvice.com, the statistics from their recent study conducted by them points to a growing need for the software as well. According to their research, the most common needs that practices had when starting with or switching to practice management software were, as I said before, better organization and integrated assessments and forms, things like that. So if these functions are important to your clinic, chances are you'll benefit massively from a proper clinic management software. Also, a couple more interesting things down here on the left-hand side, the prospective buyers by size of practice. 56% of those who use practice management software are solo practitioners. And that's because it just takes away a lot of admin for you, which means you don't actually have to think about employing somebody to do the admin. You're paying something like, for example, WriteUpp's $4.95 a month plus VAT. That's what you're paying monthly to a system which will do your admin for you. That's a massive reduction in cost to employing somebody to do admin. So solo practitioners definitely see the benefits of using it. And also this one up here, deployment preferences, 99% of private practitioners would rather have a cloud-based software than an on-premises. So on-premises means not necessarily paper, something that you download onto your computer. So they'd rather have a cloud-based option where they can log in from anywhere. Again, I don't want to talk about COVID really, but if we think about that when lockdown came into place, how handy would it have been to just be able to access your stuff from anywhere, not necessarily having to go into an office or a clinic or whatever. You know, it gives you that flexibility to basically operate your business from anywhere in the world, not just UK. I'll quickly touch on this. I am aware of the time. So why cloud-based software? So using the best way to think of cloud-based software really is it's like a utility or a service. There's no software to install, nothing to download. Everything's stored in secure data centers. For example, ours is secured in a data center operated by Microsoft, really secure, probably about as secure as you can get. You simply open up your web browser, log into your site, and you do what you need to do. The bottom line is that you have access via any device with a mobile connection and total peace of mind that your data is secure, backed up, and always available for you. And there's just a few things there. I'll send you these slides afterwards so you can peruse them at your leisure. Finally, which software should you use? There's loads, there's plenty out there that you can choose from. And really, there's no right or wrong answer here. Each practice management system is different for every practice, depending on your needs, depending on what ones you prefer the look of, depending on which ones you find easier to use. It's completely different for everybody. The best thing I think you should do before choosing which practice management software to use is to take advantage of a free trial, and most of these offer them. You don't need to import all of your patient information in to every system that you try out. Just set up a dummy client or two, maybe set yourself up and your friend or a colleague or your partner as a dummy client, and then work through a typical patient workflow just to see how it all feels. You can test out, so you can kind of test it from your point of view, but also from your client's point of view. You can be both, and you can just see how it feels. Whilst on your free trial, these are really, really important. Just make sure you can tick off most, if not all, of the key factors that we've kind of gone through. So make sure it will definitely boost your efficiency and save you time. If it doesn't, don't bother, because that's kind of what it's there for. Make sure it automates tasks and streamlines your workflow for you. Make sure it enhances your client's experience. So when you're pretending to be the client in your trial period, think about what your client's experiencing now, and think about what they would experience if you were using a software. So, you know, cool, they don't have to come in 10 minutes before the appointment and fill in a load of forms. They can do it before at home in the comfort of the home, or whatever. They don't need to view the bank transfer, or they can book online. Nobody needs to ring me anymore. Just see if it really enhances your client's experience. Also, check if it has a stable and reliable invoicing platform. Sometimes the system's invoicing platform or process is actually more complicated than what you're doing already. So just kind of make sure it's easier for you. And also, maybe not as important, but it might be in the future, make sure it's a scalable solution. So as your clinic grows, is it going to help you grow? And are you going to be able to use it as your clinic grows so that you don't have to switch softwares? You know, you might not use all of the features at first, but maybe in a year you'll use 2 or 3 more of the features that it offers you. So, you know, just check that, make sure that it's you're happy with it and it's doing everything that you need it to do. Okay, so we haven't had any questions in the Q&A. We've had 2 actually, but we've kind of covered them as the webinar's gone along. If you do have any questions, we're at the end now, but if you do have any questions, just grab us for a live chat. You can also email me at support@writeupp.com, or I think my emails also will be on the, when you registered for the webinar, it should be on there. You can just reply to that. That will come through to me if you do have any more questions. You can also take a trial if you want to. It's a free 30-day trial at WriteUpp. You can go through, you don't have to put in any card details. So if you forget to subscribe, or if you don't want to, you don't have to do anything. It will just, any data that you put in there will just be completely erased. So you can do that if you want to, or you can join one of our more in-depth webinars. You can have a look on our YouTube channel for that, or just grab us for a live chat. We're always happy to speak to you. I've had a couple of questions. I'm just going to quickly go through these. Can it store photos too? Yes, absolutely can. You take before and after photos. Yeah, it's really easy to do that. Actually, if you use our, I'll just come off this sharing screen. If you use the app that you can get on your phone, you can just take a photo straight from the app and it will just store it straight in the client record. So it's even easier. You don't have to necessarily take a photo on your phone and then upload it into the thing, into the software. You can just take a photo using the app. That's also safer because it won't store that information on your phone. So it's more compliant with GDPR if you use the app, because it only saves it into your client's record. It doesn't actually save it locally onto your phone, which a lot of people kind of forget that that's not necessarily complying with GDPR. So yes, you can do that. But if you do want to take a photo with your phone and then upload it into WriteUpp, you can do that too. Just make sure you delete it completely off your phone as well. I've had another question. Is Zoom contained in the software suitable for group sessions? We don't integrate with Zoom. We've got our own video consultation feature in there. However, you can use Zoom with it if you wanted to. All you need to do is put the Zoom details into the client record, and then you can set up the automated emails to have that link in there that they can then join. So you can do it. It's a kind of workaround, but it doesn't take too long. So if you did decide to use WriteUpp on your trial, if you sign up for a trial, have a go with setting up a Zoom call. If you can't do it, then just get in touch with us on live chat. But we do have a help center article on how you can set up a Zoom integration with your subscription. So kind of yes, more yes than no. You can do it. There is a workaround for it. Okay, cool. I hope that is everything. I really hope this was helpful as well. I'll be sending out a recording of this webinar that you can look at any time. If you're really that bored and you want to watch it again, you can see it again. I'll also send out the slides as well, so that you can have a look through those. You can share them with anybody that you want to share with. Let's have a look. Sorry, I've just had another question. I book clients in blocks of 6 weekly sessions. Is that possible? Yes, you can book. You can book recurring appointments. So you can book somebody in for an appointment that recurs for 6 weeks, and you can also set up different appointment emails and text messages depending on whether they book a single appointment or a recurring appointment or a block. Yeah, absolutely, you can do that. That's really easy to do. When you book them into your diary or when they book themselves in, it's just a recurring appointment. Cool. Okay, so any more questions, just grab us for a live chat. You just go to writeup.com and there's a little chat bottom in the bottom right hand corner. You can grab us on there. And if you do have any questions, you can email me, you can speak to us on there. Our YouTube channel, just go onto YouTube, search for WriteUpp, and there's loads of videos in there that you can watch. Some of them are quite short, some of them are longer, depending on how much information that you want. And we're really open and honest with you. So if you're really struggling, you don't think it's for you, just get in touch and we'll be able to help you with any way we can. Okay, I hope this was handy, and I really hope to see you in WriteUpp soon or in our live chat so we can get to know you a little bit better. Anyway, have a lovely day. Thank you so much for joining us on your lunch hour, and we'll speak to you soon. See you later, everybody. Bye.